Alright, let's do it. He hit a cop live. YouTube Streetracers destroying their lives live. See, this is what I don't understand. Why would you... Because street racing in a lot of countries and in a lot of states is like completely illegal. Why would you film yourself doing it? Do you think that you're just gonna delete it and then the problem's gonna go away? Is that the logic? Like filming a robbery live, let alone robbing someone with security cameras in this day and age? Like, what's going on here? How low is your IQ? How low can you go? How low can you go?
This YouTube street racer was almost arrested in Times Square after hitting a cop with his Lamborghini and barely...
And Times Square of all places! Like, they don't have cameras everywhere in that place.
Getting away.
They looking for him. Chad, he's a wanted driver in 52 states. Now, if the police come, Chad, we taking off. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just get in.
They're coming, they're coming.
Why did he say 52 states? I thought there was 50 states. Because Canada and Greenland. Smartest American. 52 System Star Wars reference? Okay, I'll chalk it up to maybe it's a reference to something, because I was like, is this for real?
If you thought Times Square was just about tourists and a bunch of Elmo clones hustling selfies, think again, because earlier this month it turned out to something out of a set from a Need for Speed cutscene. A blue Lamborghini Urus driven by the YouTuber known as License plowed through the middle of New York, clipped
And realistically, how many Lamborghinis really exist? Like, it's an expensive car, and how many people drive them? You wouldn't like drive like a, I don't know, or Ford F-150 or something, I don't know.
The cop and smashed into a pedicab, which is one of those like bicycle taxis, and sent Times Square into absolute chaos, all while the entire situation was being live streamed on kick.com.
The police officers were pounding on the car with their fists and batons, trying to break the windows and force the doors open, but License stayed calm, slammed his foot on the gas, and sped away before they could stop him.
Why is it always Kick? Kick unironically has such a massive problem with, like... I don't understand. Aren't they getting fined for, like, broadcasting someone's death? Or holding those streamers accountable that basically killed someone? Yeah.
And now, License is still on the run, posting content, and the NYPD are probably hunting him harder than ever. So, who is this guy that I'm actually referring to? Well, License is one of those guys who became famous for cutting up traffic outside of New York City while avoiding the police. He's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
How are you not arrested and permanently banned off of Kick for that? Like, what?
Kick.com, where he's essentially built this following of over 700,000 followers by posting this wild street racing content. And when I say wild street racing content, it's just like wildly stupid. I mean, essentially, he's just cutting through traffic, putting everyone at risk, including himself and the people who are sitting in the car with him. And overall, I mean, the driving isn't even that impressive. If you put any of these guys on a track, they would get clapped by someone who actually knows how to drive.
True.
Essentially, you have a bunch of high-performance rentals just going way too fast.
Rentals, I mean cars that they own so they can trash it and it will cost less than buying an actual car. God, these people are pieces of shit. I hate nothing more than people risking other people's life. If you want to risk your life and you die on stream and there's no one else around you, it's kind of like natural selection. But when you start involving other people that do not have any control over getting themselves involved, like, I don't know, like amusement park rides or like, I don't know, riding a horse and there's other horses on a track or a car or whatever, like bikes at a park perhaps, like public spaces. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing?
Through the New York City traffic, putting everyone at risk, and then they're obviously filming this with dash cams and POV cameras and uploading it to YouTube.
If you make one mistake and someone has to pay the price, even though they have absolutely no, like, idea that it's happening.
YouTube to monetize it. And they make a point to blur out the
Such a
license
piece
plate,
of
and on top
shit.
of that, distorts voice and hides behind a mask. So he's obviously trying to hide his identity for as long as he can. Hundreds of thousands of people have watched him speed through New York, but as of right now, he has still not been caught.
It's a dangerous trend known as throughway swimming. It's when cars drive recklessly on highways, causing near misses or weaving through lanes.
Do you feel like you're a danger to society? No. How worried
It's rage bait. It's rage bait.
are you about being caught by the police?
Not worried at all.
Unlike his friend Squeeze Benz, who was actually arrested a year ago. And if you go through his
My friend, we actually covered this too. This guy crashed a car and got arrested on stream as well. Again, a kick streamer.
content, every video of
they should
him is
keep
either
going,
him taunting police, dodging chases, and then disappearing to park one of his rented cars in locations that he claims he only knows the location of. So when the news hit that he was almost caught in Times Square, that got a lot of attention. So here's how it all went down. A Tuesday night at the beginning of August, License was in Times Square with some streamers who happened to be live at the time, including one streamer by the name of Shangle, who had his own camera rolling inside the Lambo during the entire police situation. At first, it looks like the usual kind of like clout chasing fans stopping for pics, guys hanging out near the car.
How do you have fans, man? How?
Nothing out of the ordinary, but
It will never astound me what people like think is cool nowadays. Like the IQ is just bottom of the barrel. Children, but we were kids too. Like I was under 16 or 18 at one point. Like I didn't think this was cool. I don't like maybe I don't want to say I'm smarter than the average like 13-year-old when I was 13, but like holy shit, man. You were a nerd, but I liked racing games. I played Need for Speed. I evaded cops in video games. I understand the thrill. I do, but like this is real life. You're endangering real people's like lives.
then you
I
know
don't know,
something.
maybe I'm just trying to
Cops
cope. I'm
already
coping.
watching from
I'm
across the
coping.
street, and not just one, multiple units. And within like 45 seconds, NYPD had cars pulling in from 3 different directions. And that's no coincidence. That's a planned setup. They were positioning to box him in before he could bail. Then chaos erupts, the Lamborghini lunges forward, cops surrounded it, and pedestrians scatter. Also, keep in mind that this is Times Square, one of the busiest places on Earth. So when I say pedestrians, there were a lot of them. And during all of this chaos, a pedicab, which is like, you know, the bicycle taxi, it was hit, and NYPD says one officer's foot got ran over. So not exactly life.
I had my foot ran over by a car one time at a pedestrian crossing, but luckily they were going so fast that it didn't actually crush my foot. That shit fucking hurts. Yeah, like I was lucky that they were going just fast enough that it rode over my foot. Yeah, it really hurt. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't have it crushed, so yeah. I can tell you from personal experience, it's not fun.
Threatening, but easily enough to add assault to an
didn't get a fucked
officer
up
onto
foot.
the existing rap sheet. But here's where it gets a little bit blurry, because some people online are speculating they heard gunshots, with even some people in the car coming to that conclusion.
Oh my God. Yeah!
If you have the word Streetracer in your title on Kick or something, you should just get auto banned, I feel like. Why is this so loud?
Brothers, man!
And this tells us he's definitely not in custody, and
Where's
that he's going to have to move a lot
moderation?
quieter. I mean, you can even see him worry in this clip.
I'm keeping it real calm. I was about to leave. Hey, right now, you look very familiar. I'm scared.
But going back to the most important detail, the way cops act in this situation, because it's interesting that they managed to surround him that quickly in Times Square, as this might be a sign of them actually watching the stream. Normally, if you call
Yeah,
NYPD
probably,
about an
actually.
actual crime in progress, you're waiting for 10 to 15 minutes or maybe even longer. But in this situation,
This is actually a W, honestly. It's a sting. Yeah, I think this is a big W because usually, like, I had a friend that used to live in New York, and they said it fucking sucked. If you got mugged, like, there's nothing you can do about it. 12-minute response time normally? Yeah, that's if you're lucky. That's a lucky one.
they were already there. So to me, it seems like a targeted operation, and it lines up with what NYPD has been talking about regarding their social media monitoring unit. They announced last year that they're actually watching streamers and social media accounts in real time. So if you're broadcasting your location with thousands of viewers, you're not just streaming to your fans, you're also most likely streaming to the cops. And remember, this isn't the first time clout chasing drivers have ran into the cops, because you have Squeeze Benz, a 19-year-old who went viral drifting through Times Square last year. He posted similar content fairly regularly, and if you remember, he was arrested as well last year.
Good. Yeah, this is the one we watched. Again, I think this is on the level of drunk driving. You're subjecting other people on the road who are obeying the law with your reckless endangerment of human life. I don't give a shit. You should at least get 30 years. You're ruining someone's life. You kill someone in a car crash? Jail. Straight to jail. I don't give a shit. I don't care. This is arguably even worse because you're not in a modified state of being, so your judgment isn't impaired. You are just actually that retarded that you're willing to do this. Like, there's steps to being a drunk driver. This is like another one where it's like you're skipping the part where you're inebriated. Yeah. Like, you're such a fucking clown.
Because he thought he was completely untouchable until NYPD and Newark PD actually built a case off his social media footprint and arrested him. His videos literally became the evidence. That's, you know, a similar road that License is speeding down as we speak. So the difference is that Squeeze never ran over a cop's foot, and License allegedly
driving while retarded. Oh, jeez.
did. And that's honestly the line you really don't want to cross.
No, you don't want to do that. I'm allowed to drive.
When it comes to law enforcement.
No,
assaulting an officer, even if it's just a foot injury, is the kind of charge prosecutors stack on top of everything else. So where is License today? Well, free currently, but definitely not safe. He might be posting right now, but every stream, every Instagram story, every clip of him flexing is just more fuel to whatever case the NYPD is currently building on him. They're not rushing this. They're gathering every single piece of content, every angle, every stream, and they'll wait for the perfect time to move again. And if they're willing to swing batons at a Lamborghini in Times Square surrounded by tourists and Broadway billboards, just imagine what happens when they finally corner him in somewhere quieter. And let's just talk about...
I don't know the safety protocols, but I feel like they should have shot the tires or something. Like, I don't know what you're gonna do swinging batons. Maybe it's because there's so many people around them and they can't, like, actually do anything. Yeah, too dangerous. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like they should have done something, but maybe realistically they couldn't. Yeah, road spikes? No, because there's pedestrians around. That's what I'm saying. It's hard.
The big what if, because what happens if NYPD actually managed to arrest License? Because now it's not just traffic ticket situations anymore. First off, there's the Times Square incident itself. Cops say officer's foot actually got ran over. That alone could turn into assault on an officer, which in New York can jump from a misdemeanor all the way up to a felony, depending on the injuries. And even though the cops' injuries were reported as minor, the fact that it actually happened during an active police operation makes it a huge deal. Then you have the reckless endangerment, because he was allegedly speeding through Times Square, one of the busiest tourist spots on Earth, with pedestrians and cars everywhere. That is literally textbook reckless endangerment, which is also a felony when people are put at risk of serious harm. And since the reports say a pedicab and other bystanders got hit, that only makes things worse. Then you add on the fleeing and eluding police, which is another charge that can jump up depending on how dangerous the chase was. And this was one in front of hundreds of witnesses, on stream in 4K. And then finally, you can't forget the car itself, because he's always on high-end rentals. If prosecutors can prove that he used fake info... Why
don't they arrest him on charges of endangerment? They have to be buying cards, or they have to have credit cards or banks. Like, they'll block and censor video games through PayPal for having boobies in it, for hentai. But this guy's endangering people's literal lives, children and people walking in the street. But they don't block cards of a person renting? Like, don't they have like a blacklist where they can't get a rental if it's like under these names or something? What a fucking world we're living in, man. That's crazy. Yeah, but video games, it's the real dangerous stuff. Like, they don't care. I mean, they care enough to try and stop them. I don't know.
Or if those cars were damaged while
That
being driven
sucks.
illegally,
I want
that
them
can
to
also
do
tack on
something.
fraud or Grand Theft Auto type charges. But obviously, the kicker is all of this is happening while he's actively being shown on live streams and his own YouTube videos. So it's not like this is just like one incident that can be used against him. It's his whole YouTube channels. So literally every time he does something like this, it just becomes more and more evidence.
Oh my god, oh no.
Oh god, this gives me such bad anxiety. And the most dumb thing is like, someone makes a mistake and you overcorrect. It's, what are you fucking doing?
No, sir. Oh god. Oh my god, no, it's also over.
I mean, no.
Fake ID rented by a friend. Oh, but then if your friend gets fucking in trouble, then you're gonna run out of friends that can give you money. Like, there's deterrence. There's steps to this. It's daddy's car. No, it's not even that. It's a rental.
No wonder Jack looks so scared here. He's very aware of how easy cars can crash.
Yeah, hydroplaning. Oh. Yeah, that's the McLaren kid. No.
The bottom line is, like, half the people we
Thank
cover
God
here on this
nothing
channel,
happened
every
to anyone
video,
else,
every
man.
TikTok, every kick stream, he's basically just farming more evidence against himself. So I would not be surprised if he ends up just like Squeeze Benz, because that dude, he thought...
By the way, he got out scot-free. Nothing happened to him and nothing happened to anyone else. Thankfully, nothing happened to anything else. I don't know, sometimes I feel like you should... Nothing should have happened to him. But I feel like he'd learn his lesson maybe if he got like a broken arm or something. Learn a lesson, maybe not to hurt other people or himself. Criminals should be arrested, you're saying? Yeah, I don't know, it's a wild thing. Except his friend, but I mean, the friend was basically unscathed.
He was untouchable
Just a
until
little
cops
scratch on his
essentially
head.
pieced together months of footage and hit him with a mountain of charges. License is arguably way more reckless, and now that an officer has been hurt, the system has every reason to come down even harder on him. Bottom line, if they catch him, License could be staring down multiple felonies, years in prison, and a giant pile of civil lawsuits from anyone hurt in these stunts. License might think that he's playing some game, but the truth is, the game has definitely changed. And also, just doing this in New York City is incredibly stupid because you have more CCTV cameras there than like any other city in America. So it's really not that hard for the police to just pinpoint where he's parking his cars. But obviously, social media clout got him famous, but it's also given the cops a playbook, and the more he posts content, the closer they get. But at least he wasn't super gluing veneers into people's mouth like this woman was, who's currently facing 15 years in prison for that. So I would definitely check out that story.
Super gluing people's teeth. Is this the one that did veneers? I think we talked about this one too. Yeah, she was super gluing veneers.
Here, because it is just an insane story. But other than that, drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Oh my god, man. That's so fucking funny. Good! There's actually justice in this world. 15 years for super gluing people's teeth in. Hell yeah. Based. Why did she super glue people's teeth? Because she was an unlicensed person who was doing it for a quick buck, and she was super gluing them in. Instead of using glue that's supposed to be for teeth, and that can ruin your teeth forever.
Fire, fire, fire.